As we're celebrating International Women's Day, we sat down with the chair of the European Parliament's Gender Equality Committee, Lina, Gálvez, to discuss the challenges that gender equality and our values in general are facing today. Join us for a very interesting chat. Thank you very much for joining us. As we are celebrating International Women's Day, it will be interesting to hear what it represents for you, especially at a time of turbulence and attacks against gender equality.
So thank you very much for having me here. For us, for me, it is also the chair of FAM committee is very important because it's a day to remind everybody how important it is gender equality, how important women's rights for our societies, for our democracies, that we will not have a real democracies without gender equality. And we are still far away from that. And it's not only that we are far away from achieving gender equality and real women's rights for every woman and girl in the world and also within Europe, is that now we are facing a backlash and forces that are really against women's autonomy, women's rights, and about equality and gender equality in general are, gaining more and more space, and this is against us as women, but it's against all of us as a society and as democratic societies.
Indeed, because unless our society is equal, not everybody can enjoy the values and the democracy that we work for. You mentioned
not even the freedom.
Not even the freedoms.
Because you could be free to decide if you have the opportunities, but if you have no opportunities, you have no freedom to decide. Even if theoretically you have, in reality you don't.
You mentioned your role as chair of the committee here in the European Parliament dealing with gender equality. What are your two top priorities for the next few years, for this term?
So probably the first priority is to keep the pace of very important new legislation that we have in the previous one with the Gender-Based Violence Directive or the Pay Transparency Directive of Women in Board Directive. So we still need a new, very powerful legislation, but we need also to implement this very good legislation we did in the previous term, and we have to really to push member states really to implement this legislation and to do it in a way that all women in every single place of Europe feel really safe. And if you allowed me a third one, if possible, it is also what we call this gender mainstreaming, that is not only to advance on equality policies, but also bringing equality to all policies. Because everything we do here will impact differently to people that are in a different situation. So we have to take that into consideration and to do the best possible legislation in order to close the gender gap.
This very important work takes place in a challenging context. We are seeing far-right voices, politicians, political movements trying to attack some of the gains we have made when it comes to gender equality and equality in general. What do you think are the greatest challenges we're facing at the moment?
I think the greatest challenge is that democracy has been challenged. And feminism is the most democratic movement we have had over the 20th century and the 21st century. So why it is under attack? So why our goals, our objectives in order to have an equal world are under attack? Because it is what they don't want. They are really against the real idea of equality. So feminism is really the most democratic movement, and so they are really against. And also because they want women in a different position, women in a different situation. It very much linked with the demographic change. There are xenophobic ideas, and it's a kind of a perfect solution for them to bring women back home, to have babies like this. Others will not have babies for us, and also to take care of everybody, also the elderly, because they don't want to pay taxes. The richer, they don't want to pay taxes to pay for a social state or a welfare state, a social Europe. So it is a key element in their political goal is to bring women back home, to take out our rights and to take out any idea that we are equal to men.
It is indeed a battle of ideas and a battle of values. In many ways, it's a battle for the soul of our continent. And we're lucky to have you where you are, and we look forward to working with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.